The other quadrilateral or four-sided figure that we want to find the area of is a parallelogram. Now, you remember, in the parallelogram you do not have right angles. You have, here are my four sides, and you have the slant to it. Your sides are, opposite sides are the same length and parallel, but you don't have those right angles. Now, because of that, you can't just multiply the two sides together. In other words, this is not like the length times the width. If you multiply those together, that will not give you the number of little squares inside your figure. What you have to do is to get a height to use in your parallelogram to help you find the area, and that needs to be given to you, or you'd have to draw it in and measure it. What the height is it goes to one of the sides, it starts at the opposite vertex and comes down straight here and forms a right angle. So your height always is drawn to one of the sides, and that side would be your base. Now, what actually is happening is if you took this little triangle here that's formed and took it apart and sat it over here on the other side and drew it in over here, you would actually turn your figure into a rectangle. In fact, maybe we should visualize doing that. If we took that height over here and picked this little triangle up and turned it around and sat it over here and then covered that up, we would have made our figure into a rectangle. And then this would be like our width, and this would be our length, and we'd say length times width, which is going to be the same thing as the base times the height. So what we're going to do is use the formula for a parallelogram. Area equals to base times height. So you have to have the height drawn in for you in order to be able to find how many little square units would fit inside of a parallelogram. So we're just going to use that formula. Now, let's look at a parallelogram. In this parallelogram, I've given you the area of the bottom, I've given you the length of the bottom side, and also the length of a side over here. And then I've drawn in this little dotted line and put the little right angle, so you know you've got a right angle there. That right angle tells you that that's going to be the height. Now, to find the area of this, we need a base and a height. Now, I ask you to find the area and the perimeter, because I want to make sure that we see the difference between the two. Okay, to find the area, we'll just do it right up here. I said area is base times height. Okay, either the 8 or the 9 could be the base, but your height has to be drawn to that base. And notice this dotted in line goes from this vertex, and the right angle is up here. So I've got to use this side up here. That has to be my base, since that's where my height is going. Now, I don't have a number up there, but I would know how long that side is. It's got to be the same length as the bottom, so it would have to be 9 inches. So I've got to use 9 for my base and 6 for my height. So I would say 9 times 6, and I would get 54. And that would be my area, but it would be 54 square inches. Let's see if we can move up here a little bit. So my area would be 54 square inches. What that means is if these were really, this isn't really 8 inches, but if this was really 8 inches and this was 9 inches and this was 6 inches, if I drew in little inch squares inside of here, there would be 54 of them. So the area is talking about the inside of the figure. Okay, the other thing I asked you to find was the perimeter. So let's find the perimeter. Okay, to find the perimeter, you just add up all your sides. So now, the height here is not one of the sides. It's not a side, but you have to have it to come up with the area. But to find the perimeter, we're just concerned with the sides. So we have a side here, a side here, a side here, and a side here. So we have two sides that are 8 inches and two sides that are 9 inches. So if I add those together, 8 and 8 is 16, 16 and 9 is 25, and 25 and 9 is 34. So my perimeter would be 34. And since you're just wanting to know how many units that are how far it is around the outside of the figure, when you're dealing with perimeter, your unit of measurement is just inches, not square inches, but just inches. So with the perimeter, I'd have 34 inches. With the area, I'd have 54 square inches. So you need to remember to put the square on your area measurement, and just to put your single unit on your perimeter measurement. Let's review for a minute. To find the perimeter, you add up all your sides. To find the area, you use the appropriate formula. Your answer will be square units. Now, we've only learned how to find the area of 3 figures, and all of these figures were quadrilaterals. To find the area of a rectangle, its area is length times width. To find the area of a square, it's side times side, or you could say side squared. We'll talk about more what side squared means when we're working with exponents. And then to find the area of a parallelogram, the area is base times height. Now you will work with these formulas enough that you will probably learn them. But when we test you on these items, we will actually give you the formula on your test. But you'll need to know how to use the formula, and you'll need to remember to put square units with your answers.